Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Michael. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're new here, welcome. This message is entitled Intentionally Disadvantaged for the Lord's Glory. The Lord gave me this word because I'm sure there's many out there who are aware not only of our world situations in our nations, in our governments, but also in our personal lives. I'm sure there are many who are facing insurmountable odds. I know I am, but I know the Lord's faithful. And He gave me this message to share. Intentionally disadvantaged for the Lord's glory. This is something the enemy don't understand, but we do. And this is just a reminder. So the Lord led me first to Judges with Gideon and how he used Gideon, even paring down his military, his fighting men, his soldiers, in order to defeat, and how he did it in order to defeat the Midianites. I'm going to be reading from Judges chapter 7, 2 through 7. The Lord said to Gideon, "You have too many men. I cannot deliver Midian into their hands, or Israel would boast against me, my own strength to save me. Now announce to the army, anyone who trembles with fear may turn back and leave Mount Gilead." So 22,000 men left, while 10,000 remained. But the Lord said to Gideon, "There are still too many men. Take them down to the water. I will thin them out for you. I'll thin them out for you there. If I say, this one shall go with you, he shall go. But if I say, this one shall not go with you, he shall not go." So Gideon took the men down to the water. There the Lord told him, "Separate those who lap the water with their tongues, as a dog laps, from those who kneel down to drink." 300 of them drank from cupped hands like lapping dogs. All the rest got down on their knees to drink. The Lord said to Gideon, "With the 300 men that lapped, I will save you and give the Midianites into your hands. Let all others go home." It's and particularly the scripture he points out is verse 2, where he says, "You have too many men. I cannot deliver the Midianites into their hands, or Israel would boast against me, saying, my own strength has saved me." This brings me to Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9. "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not of yourselves. It is a gift of God, not by works, so no one can boast." The Lord made sure that Israel knew they were only being saved by God's grace through their faith, by using a man like Gideon. He was his family was the least of their tribe, and he was the least in his family, and paring down his troops from 32,000 to 300 men, or against which I see is, through commentators, estimated against a Midianite army of 120,000, maybe more men. Like I stated in other videos, the Lord doesn't need anyone in particular or anything in particular to carry out His will on earth. As we see in Matthew 3:9, with John the Baptist reminding the Pharisees and Sadducees of God's sovereignty and true character, when he said, "And do not think to say to yourself, we have Abraham as our father. I tell you that out of these stones, God can raise up children of Abraham." Right? So that's a good thing to keep in mind. He don't need you. He don't need me. And his plans will always come to fruition. He'll always have his way. Which brings me to the next example of the Lord choosing David against Goliath. God chooses who He wants what he wants to use, who he wants to use, what he wants to use, whenever he wants to use them, however he wants to use them. He doesn't take a vote, and it's usually the least likely that he chooses, right? And we see David, a man overlooked by everyone, practically, a man who didn't fit the description, apparently, that anyone would see or predict as being king material, right? Or leadership material, anything like that. But we see in 1 Samuel chapter 17, Saul and Israel being mocked. They're in a predicament for 40 days in a standoff with Goliath. That's the we all know the story of David and Goliath. Goliath being the Philistines, warrior champion, him mocking them. We see how verse 11 of 1 Samuel 17, with Saul and Israel being dismayed and fearful. But the Lord chose one man who no one seen as appropriate or worthy initially to bring down this giant that everyone was afraid of, apparently. Everyone. We see God, again, using the least likely. He chooses the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. He uses the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Using a shepherd boy, right? David being a shepherd boy, no military training, no staff, no spear. He didn't even carry a sword with him, but just moving on Goliath in the Lord's name with faith in the Lord and a slingshot. It's amazing to me. We see in 1 Samuel 17, verse 45, David, with Israel at a big disadvantage, fearful for 40 days, coming to advancing on Goliath. And it says, but David said to the Philistine, you come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands. This day I will strike you down, cut off your head, and give your carcass to the Philistine army, to the birds of the air and the creatures of the earth. The whole world will know that there is a God in Israel, and all those assembled here will know it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands. And then, of course, slaying Goliath, running up, grabbing his own sword, taking his head. And I believe that's when Israel pursued another victory, another unlikely victory, right? We see the same thing in 1 Kings with Elijah against the 450 prophets of Baal, right? As another, God chooses Elijah, one man. You got Israel over here sitting on the fence you got Ahab, Jezebel, bringing wickedness into the land, leading the people astray. False gods, false prophets, nothing real, just wickedness, pure selfishness, wickedness. We see in 1 Kings chapter 18, starting in verse 21, it reads, Then Elijah approached all the people and said, How long will you waver between two options? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. But the people did not answer a word. Then Elijah said to the people, I am the only remaining prophet of the Lord, but Baal has 450 prophets. get 2 bulls for us. Let the prophets of Baal choose 1 bull for themselves, cut it into pieces, and place it on the wood, but not light the fire. And I will prepare the other bull and place it on the wood, but not light the fire. Then you may call on the name of your God, and I'll call on the name of the Lord, the God who answers by fire. He is God. And all the people answered, what you say is good. Yeah, they agreed to it. Then Elijah says to the prophets of Baal, since you are numerous, again at a disadvantage, surrounded by, he's not supported. Israel didn't say a word. The prophets of Baal over here, I'm sure they're waiting to grab him and eliminate him, Elijah. By himself, he stands up. Then Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, since you are numerous, choose for yourself 1 bull and prepare it first. Then call on the name of your God, but do not light it. And they took the bull that was given them, prepared it, and called on the name of Baal from morning until noon, shouting, "O Baal, answer us." This is my favorite part. This is why I'm reading this. And also, I know most people, if you see this, and if you're watching this, you know it, but this for those who haven't read it yet, or understand, or heard the story. But there was no sound, and no one answered as they leaped around the altar that they made. At noon, Elijah began to taunt them, saying, "Shout louder, for he is a god. Perhaps he is in deep thought, or occupied, or on a journey. Perhaps he is sleeping and must be awakened." He's roasting them, right? Roasting them. I like it. So they shouted louder and cut themselves with knives and lances, as was their custom, until the blood gushed over them. Midday passed, and they kept on raving until the time of the evening sacrifice, but there was no response. No one answered. No one paid attention. Nothing all day long, calling on this false god. Then Elijah said to all the people, "Come near to me." So all the people approached him, and he repaired the altar of the Lord that had been torn down. And Elijah took 12 stones, 1 for each tribe of the sons of Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord had come and said, "Israel shall be your name." And with the stones, Elijah built an altar in the name of the Lord. Then he dug a trench around the altar large enough to hold 2 seahs of seed. I'm just guessing that's a lot. I don't know. Next, he arranged the wood, cut up the bull, placed it on the wood, and said, "Fill 4 water pots and pour the water on the offering and on the wood." Drench it. Make it even more difficult. Put me at a more of a disadvantage, so the Lord can shine and it'll bring glory to the Lord's name. I'm sure the Lord was directing him. "Do it a second time," he said, and they did it a second time. He said, "No, do it a third time," and they did it a third time. So the water ran around the altar and even filled the trench. Now the sacrifice is completely saturated. We're talking about fire from heaven. There's a moat around it. This is how the Lord likes to work. He likes to display his sovereignty and majesty. This is his ways, and he likes to use unfavorable odds, and we just happen to be his people. So this is part of our journey, right? At the time of the evening sacrifice, it says in verse 36, Elijah the prophet approached the altar and said, "O Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known this day that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant, and have done all these things at your command. Answer me, O Lord, answer me, so that this people will know that you, the Lord, are God, and that you have turned their hearts back again." Then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and the dust, and it licked up the water in the trench. When all the people saw this, they fell face down and said, "The Lord, he is God." The Lord, He is God. Then Elijah ordered them, seize the prophets of Baal. Do not let a single one escape. So they seized them, and Elijah brought them down to Kishon, to the Kishon Valley, and he slaughtered them there. I share this message to say this. I don't know what you're going through personally, but I know the world is in desperate times, and there's a lot more to come. But the Lord always has a plan. Always has a plan. You may feel surrounded on all sides, right? And just like Israel is reported to be in those end times, right? And the same, it is what it is. That's how I read it. But in Romans 8:31, Paul reminds us we are more than conquerors. This is the truth. What then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? Who can be against us? The Lord also leads me, like I said, the enemy, or I'll say Luciferians, synagogue of Satan, workers of iniquity. We know we don't struggle against flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places. We know this, but the enemy has willing vessels too. He does willingly, and they don't understand this. They don't. Like I explained in another video, they assumed it's going to take everyone being united, and that's why they always use divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. That's the main. It's the main ploy, right? Whether it's a psyop or if it's a false flag, and this has been all throughout history. I'm not going to break it down here, but there's plenty of people that do that. But they don't believe. They don't believe in the Lord. They don't believe in His might. I don't know what they believe. I do know what they believe, but it doesn't matter. The Lord has a plan. The Lord is working behind the scenes. This I know. The Lord still interacts with us personally, supernaturally. The Lord brings down kings and raises up kings. The Lord brings down kingdoms and raises up kingdoms. That's what He does. And He's still doing it to this day for His glory. His kingdom come, right? Like we say the Lord's Prayer. Your kingdom come. Your will be done. Yeah, well, it's going to be done. And His kingdom is coming. And that's a fact. Anyhow, thank you for clicking on this video. I hope even though I'm still getting, the messages are going to get better, I promise. And more fluid and flowing. But I submit to the Lord, and I'm delivering what He told me to deliver. But be of good courage, and just know, even against all odds, the Lord still reigns supreme. He is the King of Kings. He's the creator and owner of heaven and earth and everything in it. And that includes, where does it say, evil men plot wickedness behind closed doors, but the Lord laughs at them. He laughs at them. Anyhow, yeah, love y'all. Later.